What's going on, guys? Alex here with TFL Bike, and behind me I have the 2020 Triumph Speed Twin. I'm going to be doing a full review in this video, take it for a ride, let you know everything you need to know about this bike. Now, back in 1938, Triumph made the parallel twin popular. They were the first one to make a good parallel twin in a motorcycle. This kind of follows that same formula. In 2019, Triumph brought the Speed Twin name back. They brought us this modern classic roadster. Let's jump into the full review and take a close look at this bike. Power-wise, the Speed Twin's making 96 horsepower and 82 foot-pounds of torque, which I think is a really good amount of power for a classic bike like this. All right, here we go. Let's take the Triumph Speed Twin for a ride. Start it up so you can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it over Case's tractor over there. Nice. Let's get into our modes here. I like it in sport mode, which is the most aggressive. Here we go. I love this motor. It's got plenty of torque, plenty of power. It's really smooth too, it sounds great. It's just an easy motor to understand. The torque curve is super linear, so you don't have to really pay attention to where you are in terms of the RPM range. It's just easy going. It does what you want it to do, and no matter where you are, you punch it and it takes off. It has great power. As far as suspension goes, up front we have 41mm forks, non-adjustable. You just get what you get there. And then if we come to the back, we have twin shocks in the back. Again, not really adjustable. You can adjust preload down here, but that's about it. And I'm kind of okay with that. I thought the suspension was pretty decent. Brakes are pretty impressive up front. We have twin 305mm discs. These are pretty big rotors for a bike like this. Brembo 4-piston calipers, really high quality stuff right there. And then a Brembo master cylinder up front too. Adjustable levers, you also have an adjustable clutch lever. Really like the front brakes. They feel grabby, they're strong, and they bring you to a stop really fast when you need them to. And you've got steel braided lines. So all in all, a good package up front. In the rear, not quite as impressive, a single 220mm disc with a Nissin 2-piston caliper. You still do have rear ABS though, and I think all in all, even though the rear brakes aren't quite as grabby as the fronts, they get the job done. Brakes are more than I could ask for on this bike.
Hey everyone, this is Case from TFL Bike with our Ride Smarter Tip of the Month, brought to you by Rider Justice. Did you know that most drivers and motorcycle riders are underinsured? This can leave them unprepared for catastrophic medical and liability expenses as a result of an accident. Ride smarter. Make sure to have a minimum of $250,000 in underinsured coverage. You also want enough liability insurance to care for a passenger that may be injured while with you. And last, if you feel the urge to get out on your bike on a nice warm day this winter, activate your insurance before you hit the road. You'd be surprised how many riders forget this step and end up paying the price. To learn more, go to riderjustice.com, the champions of biker rights, on the road, in the courtroom, and now across the country.
Style-wise, it's really hard not to like this bike. I really like everything about the style. So you have this classic round headlight up here, really nice aluminum fender. I actually like the boots that are on these forks. I think that matches the style of this bike pretty well. Classic tank shape with this Monza style fuel tank that kind of resembles what used to be on cafe racers back in the day. Really cool looking seat, super soft by the way, with really nice stitching, kind of the sloped back end that says Triumph on it. Tons of aluminum through the side of the bike. Twin shocks look awesome. Yeah, all in all, this is just a really cool looking bike, and it's hard to argue with that. I love this tank design. It's just classic British, classic old school, the way it's shaped, the way the stripes come through, you can kind of feel the letters on it. It just feels really high quality. It's all painted, there's no decals or anything on here. It's a really nice tank. It's super skinny. I feel like I have a nice spot to tuck my legs in on it. 3.7 gallon tank, which is a decent size. It's not huge. 59 miles per gallon according to Triumph, which again is not great, but this is a big 1200cc parallel twin, so I don't expect it to be super easy on fuel. But then again, the sound and the power this bike makes totally makes up for that. I did not expect to like this speed twin as much as I do. It feels really lightweight. It's definitely sporty. I mean, it's definitely fun to cruise in and out of traffic. Sounds great. It's not crazy expensive. It's not going to break the bank. And yeah, just a ton of character in this motorcycle, and you don't compromise anything. It's comfortable. I could spend all day on this, and I could keep up with my friends on their sport bikes and ride just as hard, which is definitely pretty important to me. I do love the exhaust system. I think it sounds great. It looks good. I like the twin can style coming out on either end. It looks old school. I love the color these headers are starting to get. They're starting to turn purple. A little bit of blue coming through there, and just give it a little more time, it should look fantastic. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of is this matte black coating right here. I know it's kind of standard to be doing that, but I think they just missed such a good opportunity to make such a cool looking exhaust system, carry titanium all the way through this pipe. I think that would just add to the fit and finish of this bike to a whole other level that, I don't know, I think other bike manufacturers really couldn't compete with. So I wish that was all just one solid color. The main thing that really impressed me with this bike in the week I've been riding it is the fit and finish and the quality of all the parts. It's just really unbeatable. Me being a guy who rides mostly Japanese bikes, this is just on a completely different level than those, and here's what I'm talking about. Up here on the surround for the dash, this aluminum piece with the Union Jack flag in the center, just super high quality. This bar clamp that has Speed Twin engraved into the center, again, just a very high quality component. These bar end mirrors are some of the best I've ever used. They're super stiff, you set their position, and they don't rattle away when you're sitting at a red light, so I really like that. You have this really nice aluminum throttle body cover right here with more aluminum Speed Twin branding and an aluminum heel guard right there. And then you go to the back of the bike and you have this really nice painted turn signal surround and housing, again with this aluminum rear fender and just a really nice aluminum block on the back with the Union Jack flag. There's just so many aluminum parts on here. You can tell someone was designing this bike thinking that every part was going to be touched on it and every part needed to feel high quality, and I love that. It's just so awesome. I'm so not used to that, and I was really surprised by it. Now I really like this analog instrumentation right here. I think it matches the bike really well. I like how spread out the tack is. I think it's really easy to see where you are. These gauges light up really well at night too, so they're easy to see at night. The one thing that's not great about them is these two little screens right here. They're really hard to see in the daytime. It's not terrible. I've definitely seen worse, but it's not great. So overall instrumentation I think is pretty good. How does the bike feel just to sit on? I think it's extremely manageable. The seat's pretty low. 31.7 inch seat height. This bike weighs 432 pounds dry, so once you get some fuel into it, it will weigh a little bit more, but that's 22 pounds lighter than the Thruxton, and a lot of that is thanks to some of the unsprung weight they've removed. So different wheels, different braking components, and that should make it feel even lighter than 22 pounds lighter than the Thruxton, if that makes any sense. I really love the tires that Triumph decided to throw on this bike. It's a 160 width here in the rear, which is decently wide. Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3 tires, which are pretty sticky. You can ride them pretty hard. They're pretty good in the rain too. They're not the full-on track, sport-oriented Corsa tire, but these are really sticky and pretty high performing for this bike. So I'm really happy with the tires. Gives me lots of confidence to lean into corners, take them with some speed, which I have been doing, and it's really fun to do on this bike. All in all, I think this is a really fun and practical bike. It's super fun to ride. It's got plenty of power. If you're interested in buying one of these, I think it's pretty reasonably priced. They start at $12,200. That's for the base model with the all black paint job. This one is a little bit more. You pay $500 extra for this red paint job. There's also a more premium gray paint job if you want to go that route, a little more subtle. All in all, even with the red though, I think this is a pretty subtle bike. If you're looking for that wow factor in a motorcycle, just looking at it, this isn't it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this bike down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to go to tflbike.com for all of the latest news in the motorcycle world. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.